Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Simple English Talks. I'm so happy you're here with us today. How's your day been going? I hope you're having a great time.
Hey there. Welcome. Great to see all of you again. We've got something really special for today, and I think you're going to love it.
That's right. Today, we're talking about something that happens every single day in everyone's life. We're going to learn about our night routines.
Exactly. And you know what's cool? Your night routine is perfect English practice material. You're going to learn real words and phrases that you actually use every day.
I love this topic because it's so relatable. We all have things we do before we go to bed, right? And by the end of this episode, you're going to understand all those words and be able to describe your own night routine in English. We're going to teach you the vocabulary, the phrases, the grammar, and honestly, you'll sound so natural talking about this. You might even practice while you're getting ready for bed. Before we jump in, please hit that subscribe button on Simple English Talks if you haven't already. We upload new episodes all the time, and you definitely don't want to miss them. And please, leave a comment below telling us what time you usually go to bed. Yes, we'd love to hear about your night routine. Do you go to bed early? Are you a night owl? Tell us in the comments. Now, let's dive in and learn English with your night routine. Section 1. Basic concept and vocabulary. Okay, so let's start with the basics. A night routine is simply the things you do before you sleep. It's a series of habits or activities that you do every evening, usually in the same order. That's right. Think about it. You probably do similar things every night, and these activities help you relax and prepare your body for sleep. Exactly. Let me give you some common examples. Most people take a shower or a bath, they brush their teeth, they change into comfortable clothes. Maybe they read a book or use their phone. These are all part of a night routine.
Great examples. Let me add a few more. Some people wash their face, put on pajamas, set their alarm for the morning, drink some tea, or tidy up their bedroom. All of these are super common night routine activities.
Now, the language for talking about these activities is very straightforward. We use simple present tense, but sometimes we talk about it as a general habit. For example, we say, I brush my teeth before bed, not I am brushing my teeth in the present continuous.
Right, because it's something you do regularly. It's a habit. So the structure is very simple. Subject plus verb plus the activity. I shower. You relax. She changes her clothes. We brush our teeth.
And when we talk about the order, we use words like first, then, after that, and finally. So we might say, first, I change into my pajamas. Then I brush my teeth. After that, I read a book. Finally, I go to sleep. That's such a useful pattern, and you can use it for any routine in your life. But for tonight, we're focusing on your bedtime routine. Can you think of 3 things you do every night? Maybe try to say them in English right now. Go ahead. Speak out loud. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just try it. Say, first I, and then add your activity. It's great practice. Now, let's talk about some specific vocabulary that comes up in night routines. Yes, let's break down some key words. Brush means to clean with a brush, so you brush your teeth with a toothbrush. You also brush your hair with a hairbrush. Shower is when you stand under water to clean your whole body. Bath is similar, but you're sitting in a tub filled with water. Some people prefer showers and some prefer baths. It's personal choice. Pajamas is the word for comfortable clothes you wear to sleep. We sometimes say PJs for short. You can also say sleepwear or nightwear, but pajamas is the most common. Now, here's an interesting one. Get ready for bed is a phrasal verb that means to prepare yourself to sleep. It includes everything from changing clothes to washing your face. I get ready for bed at 10 o'clock.
And then there's go to bed, which means to get into bed and sleep. This is different from go to the bedroom, which just means you go into that room. I go to bed at 10:30 means you're actually sleeping then.
Oh, that's a great distinction. So, get ready for bed is the preparation, and go to bed is when you actually sleep. Perfect. Now, can everyone try to put some of these words together? Use first, then, and finally to describe your night routine using these vocabulary words. Yes, write your routine in the comments. We want to see how you use these words. Are you ready to learn more? Let's move to the next section. Section 2. Related uses and phrases. Okay, so now we know the basic vocabulary, but let's talk about something really important. There are different ways to talk about your night routine depending on when and how you're speaking about it. Absolutely, because sometimes you're describing what you usually do, and sometimes you're talking about what you did last night or what you're going to do tonight. Perfect point. So if I'm talking about my regular habit, I say, I brush my teeth every night. But if I'm talking about what I actually did last night, I say, I brushed my teeth before I went to bed. See the difference? The first one uses simple present tense because it's a regular habit. The second one uses past tense because it already happened. So the structure changes depending on when you're talking about. Right. And that's really important for real conversation. If someone asks you, what's your night routine? You'd say it in present tense. But if they ask, what did you do last night? You'd use past tense. Let me give you a full example. Present tense. I come home at 6 o'clock. I eat dinner. I do my homework. I watch TV for a little bit. Then I shower. After that, I relax for 30 minutes. Finally, I go to bed at 11 o'clock. Now the same routine in past tense. I came home at 6 o'clock. I ate dinner. I did my homework. I watched TV. Then I showered. After that, I relaxed. Finally, I went to bed at 11 o'clock.
See how almost every verb changed? That's the past tense pattern. Now, let me ask you, which one are you using right now in your conversations about your night routine?
Good question. Most of the time, when we talk about our regular night routine, we use present tense. It's our normal habit. But there's another really useful way to talk about this.
Oh, yes, we use expressions like I usually, I always, I sometimes, and I never. These adverbs help us talk about how often we do things in our night routine.
Exactly. So instead of just saying, I brush my teeth, you could say, I always brush my teeth, or I usually brush my teeth, or I sometimes brush my teeth before I shower. These adverbs make your speech more natural and detailed. And they're super important because they show habit and regularity. I always take a shower. Tell someone that this is something you do every single night without exception. I sometimes read before bed means you do it occasionally, not every night. Now, here's something interesting. We can also talk about the time or duration. For example, I spend 30 minutes getting ready for bed, or it takes me 20 minutes to fall asleep. These show how long things take. That's such a good point because time is a huge part of routines. Someone might ask you, how long does your night routine usually take? And you'd answer with a time duration. Let's practice this. Try making a sentence about one of your night routine activities using always, usually, sometimes, or never. For example, I usually spend 15 minutes in the shower, or I never check my phone before bed. Write one sentence in the comments. Show us what you've learned. And here are 3 tips for talking about your night routine naturally. First, use specific times if you can. Instead of I go to bed late, say I go to bed around 11 o'clock. That's much more detailed and natural. Second, use time expressions. Say things like before bed, before I go to sleep, or after dinner. And third, be honest about what actually helps you sleep. Some people need a quiet routine with no screens. Others like to watch a show before bed. Your night routine is personal, and there's no wrong way to do it. The important thing is that you can describe it in English. This is great practice because you're talking about something you do every single day. Your English is going to improve so much.
Absolutely. Now let's move to our next section where we'll get even more detailed. Section 3. Additional uses and detailed scenarios. All right, so we've covered basic vocabulary and time expressions. Now let's talk about the different types of night routines and how people describe more complex situations. Because not everyone's night routine is the same, right? Some people have quick routines and some people take their time. Some people have relaxing routines and some people have rushed routines. Perfect. Let me describe a detailed, relaxing night routine. This is what someone might say if they have time and want to unwind. I get home around 6 o'clock. First, I change out of my work clothes into something comfortable. Then I make a cup of tea or hot chocolate. Nice! Continue with that example. That sounds like someone who wants to relax and take their time. Sure. After that, I might read a book or journal for a while. Then I take a warm shower to relax my muscles. When I get out, I put on clean pajamas and do my skincare routine. I wash my face, apply moisturizer, and brush my teeth. Finally, I dim the lights and get into bed around 10:30 or 11.
That's a really detailed and practical example. You can see how they're taking time to relax at each step. But what about someone who's in a hurry? Their routine would sound different.
Right. A quick routine might sound like this. I come home around 8 o'clock. I quickly change into pajamas. I brush my teeth and wash my face. Then I'm in bed by 9 o'clock to get enough sleep for work tomorrow.
Much quicker. But both routines are perfectly fine. The vocabulary and structures are the same. It's just the duration that's different. Now, let me ask you something. Do you have a relaxing routine or a quick routine?
That's a great question for everyone listening. And here's something really important. A lot of English learners talk about sleep habits that actually affect their English learning. Some people study English before bed, and some people don't.
Oh, that's interesting. So some people might say, I review my English vocabulary before I go to sleep. Or I listen to an English podcast as part of my bedtime routine. That's a great way to practice English.
Exactly. You could say something like, first, I do my normal bedtime routine. I shower and change into pajamas. Then, before I go to sleep, I review the new vocabulary from Simple English Talks for 30 minutes. This helps my brain remember it while I sleep.
That's such a smart way to study. And it's a very natural way to describe that in English. Now, let's talk about when your night routine goes wrong or changes. This is real life English. Oh, yes. So sometimes you might say, usually I go to bed at 10, but last night I stayed up until midnight because I was watching something interesting. Or normally I don't drink coffee after dinner, but yesterday I forgot and drank some. These are realistic situations. And using words like usually, normally, but, and because makes your English sound much more natural. You're explaining your habits and exceptions.
Here's another realistic scenario. Maybe someone asks, why are you so tired today? And you might answer, I didn't sleep well last night. I went to bed late because I had to finish work, and then I couldn't fall asleep for a long time.
Beautiful. You're using past tense, explaining cause and effect, and being specific about what happened. That's advanced English right there. Now, tips for describing your night routine like a native speaker.
First, always include the time. Don't just say, I go to sleep. Say, I go to sleep around 11 o'clock, or I go to sleep at 11:30. Specificity sounds natural. Second, use transition words. First, then, after that, finally. These make your description flow smoothly.
And third, include your feelings or the purpose of each activity. Don't just say, I shower. Say, I take a warm shower to relax, or I shower to wash off the day. This shows you're thinking about the why, not just the what.
These are the kinds of details that make you sound like you're actually using the language for real communication. All right, everyone, are you ready for some common mistakes?
Let's move to that section. I think you'll find this really helpful. Section 4, Common Mistakes.
Okay, so here's something we both have to admit. When we were learning English, we made mistakes with routines and time expressions, and we see our students making the same mistakes over and over.
It's so true. And you know what? Making mistakes is completely normal. That's how we learn. So let's talk about the most common mistakes we see.
All right, the first mistake is with the phrase go to bed versus go to the bed.
This is a super common mistake for English learners. Many people say, I go to the bed, but that's not correct. You use the article the when you're talking about a specific bed, like the bed in my bedroom or the bed we sleep on. But when you're talking about the action of sleeping, you say go to bed without the.
Exactly. So the correct way is I go to bed at 10 o'clock. If you say I go to the bed, it sounds weird, like you're going to a specific location. The natural phrase is just go to bed. Here's another mistake, using the wrong tense when describing a routine. Some people say, every night I am brushing my teeth. But that's not quite right. Routines use simple present, not present continuous. Right. You say, every night I brush my teeth, not I am brushing my teeth. The continuous tense is for something happening right now, not for regular habits. And it's such an easy mistake to make because in your native language, it might work differently. But in English, habits use simple present tense. I go to sleep. I brush my teeth. I shower. Okay, here's a third common mistake. Many people forget to use the correct prepositions with time. They'll say, I sleep at 10 hours, or I wake up in 8 o'clock. Both of these are wrong. The correct ways are I sleep for 8 hours when you're talking about duration, and I wake up at 8 o'clock when you're talking about the specific time. You use at for clock times and for duration. So I sleep at midnight is wrong. You'd say I go to bed at midnight or I sleep for 8 hours. This is a really important distinction, and it comes up all the time when talking about routines. Another mistake we see is people saying, I take a shower and I take a bath correctly, but then they say something like, I take a skincare routine. You don't take a routine, you have a routine or do a routine. That's right, you do your skincare, you have a night routine, but you take a shower or take a break. Different verbs go with different words, and it's something that comes with practice and listening. And the last mistake I want to mention is about sleep versus go to sleep. Some people say, I sleep at 10 o'clock, but that's not quite right. It's better to say, I go to sleep at 10 o'clock, or I fall asleep at 10 o'clock.
Because sleep is the action of being asleep, and go to sleep or fall asleep is the action of starting to sleep. They're slightly different. This might seem like a small thing, but native speakers notice these differences. So remember, go to bed without the, use simple present for habits, at for clock times, and for duration. You do a routine, and you go to sleep or fall asleep, not sleep at. These are the mistakes we all made, and they're completely fixable. The more you practice and listen, the more natural these will sound. Don't be discouraged by making mistakes. Absolutely, everyone makes them. Let's move to some practice now.
Section 5.
Interactive practice. All right, everyone, it's time for interactive practice. We're going to give you some situations, and you need to choose the correct way to say it. This is so important for developing your ear and your instinct for English.
Here we go. First situation. It's Tuesday morning, and your friend asks about your normal routine. Do you say, A, I always go to the bed at 11 o'clock, or B, I always go to bed at 11 o'clock? The answer is B. Go to bed is the natural phrase. Never use the in this context. Try saying both versions out loud right now. Can you hear how B sounds more natural? Next situation. Your friend asks about what you did last night. Do you say, A, I am brushing my teeth and then I go to bed, or B, I brushed my teeth and then I went to bed? The answer is B. Because you're talking about something that already happened, you use past tense. Say the sentences out loud and notice how B feels more natural for talking about something you already did. Here's another one. You want to tell someone your bedtime routine takes some time. Do you say, A, my night routine takes for 1 hour? Or B, my night routine takes an hour? B is correct. You don't need for after takes. You just say takes an hour or takes 30 minutes. This is a common mistake because different languages handle this differently. Let's try this one. You're telling someone why you're tired. Do you say, A, I slept at 7 o'clock, or B,
I fell asleep at midnight and woke up at 7 o'clock.
B is much better. A sounds strange because slept at isn't a natural expression. You want to give more details about when you fell asleep and when you woke up. Okay, here's a challenge one. You want to describe what you usually do. Do you say A, usually I am showering and then I brush my teeth? Or B, usually I shower and then I brush my teeth? The answer is B. Use simple present for routines, not present continuous. Say it again. Usually I shower and then I brush my teeth. Perfect.
Now it's your turn. Try creating 3 sentences about your night routine using the correct grammar and vocabulary. Speak them out loud. Don't worry about being perfect. Just practice. Use what we learned. Correct time expressions, simple present tense for habits, transition words like first and then, and don't use the with go to bed. You've got this. Write your sentences in the comments if you want feedback, or just speak them out loud to yourself. The important thing is that you're practicing. Let's wrap this up. Section 6, Conclusion and Wrap Up. Oh my goodness, you guys, we've covered so much today about night routines, and I'm so proud of you for sticking with us through all of this. Your English is definitely going to improve from this lesson. Absolutely. Let's do a quick summary of everything we learned today. First, we learned the basic vocabulary for night routines: shower, bath, pajamas, brush, skincare, and phrases like get ready for bed and go to bed. Second, we learned how to describe routines using time expressions, frequency adverbs like always, usually, sometimes, and never. We learned about simple present tense for habits and how to talk about duration and clock times. And third, we learned how to describe more detailed and realistic routines, including what to do when things change or go wrong. We covered how to explain causes and effects and how to make your English sound natural and flowing. We also learned the common mistakes that English learners make with routines, and now you know how to avoid them. Things like remembering that it's go to bed, not go to the bed, and that routines use simple present, not present continuous.
I really hope that this episode helps you not just with English grammar and vocabulary, but that it makes you feel more confident talking about something you do every single day. You're using English for real communication.
You know what I love about this topic? Every single day you're living your night routine. So every single day you can practice this English. While you're showering, think about the words in English. While you're brushing your teeth, say it in English.
That's such a great point. You don't need to wait for a classroom or a lesson. You can practice this language naturally throughout your evening. And the more you practice, the more automatic it becomes.
Before we finish, please, please, please hit that like button and subscribe to Simple English Talks if you haven't already. Your support means everything to us, and it helps us keep making these lessons for you. And leave a comment. We want to know about your night routine. What's the first thing you do when you come home? What time do you go to bed? Do you have any special bedtime rituals or activities? We read every comment, and we'd love to hear from you. And if this episode helped you, share it with a friend who's learning English. Spread the word about Simple English Talks. Thank you so much for learning with us today. We had so much fun teaching you about night routines, and we really hope you feel more confident using this vocabulary and these phrases in your own conversations. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember that every mistake you make is actually helping you get better. You're doing an amazing job. See you next time on Simple English Talks. Have a great night, everyone, and sweet dreams.